Okay, it's a little awkward. I haven't been here since, I don't know, months ago, since let's just say I deactivated my account. Um, so I recorded a video back in April, which is the following, and I was talking about how I was upset that graduation was canceled and it was moved to Zoom, and I was just really upset. And I was talking about that, and then I was talking a little bit crap about my school. But now it's July. It's July 12th. I feel completely different. I kind of at this point I am over it. I don't give a shit anymore. I mean, like, what, we've been in quarantine for fucking 4 months now, I guess. Um, I haven't ridden the bus since March. I am I am over it. I don't really care anymore about the whole graduation. At this point, I kind of feel like I should have graduated. In order to graduate, you need to apply to graduate. So I didn't apply, and the by the time that I was kind of like I should graduate. The deadline was, so I couldn't anymore, and but yeah, now I'm just kind of regretting that I didn't. But it's fine. It's whatever. So, it's just me saying I feel different about it. Yet again, you know how I feel about documenting myself. So, nonetheless, I still wanted to upload that video because those were my emotions. That's what I was feeling back in April, and I just wanted to upload it. And also, there's a segment where I was talking about my home experience and like just family experience with, being in college, being in school, and all of that. And I kind of wanted to go further in explanation with a voiceover. And that's why I never uploaded it kind of back then either, because I was going to do that, but I just never got around to doing that. So I in the video I'm trying to explain some of that, but it just sounds weird. It just so yeah. See you later. Hello there. Welcome to my messy room. Like my dead flowers in the background. Yeah, they're dead, just like the last relationship I was in. But that's tea for another video. Um, I'm aware that what I'm gonna talk about, what I'm gonna go on a rant about, is very first world problems right now with the current situation we are in. I'm aware that there's people who are going through worse situations. They're losing jobs, worrying about how they're gonna pay rent, how they're gonna buy food, and just about having a family sick member, or being afraid for someone to get sick, and or people are losing people. Like, I'm 100% aware of that. That being said, I also feel like people should be allowed to feel things, mourn certain things, and that's what I'm gonna talk about my graduation ceremony. I'm gonna talk about why it's so disappointing, very just disappointing. Tea is that my school, Portland State University, canceled the graduation ceremony, and they decided that they're gonna do a virtual graduation ceremony. I don't know how that's gonna work. They just said that, and they didn't further explain. A lot of people are fucking mad, and I'll name him. Just kidding. Real side reference. And people started doing petitions, and people were just mad, and I'm mad too. Initially when I saw that, I was like, so funny. Oh my god, I cannot believe this is a fucking joke. Like, they're not gonna do that. Like I was like, people are gonna be mad, and the school is gonna see that they're mad, and they're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna do something about it. The next day, like immediately the next day, they were like, we see your concerns, but it's funny because prior to the school announcing that they were going to do a virtual ceremony, I was seeing a lot of memes, people saying like, oh my god, this is going to be the class of 2020 on Sims or on fucking Roblox, or just like on Google, like just moving a little thing, like emojis. I'm like, oh my god, the school would never do that. Um, but I was unpleasantly surprised. And a lot of the reason why people are mad is because the school like didn't even ask us. Also, they told us this probably, I could say, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So I mean, it wasn't even April yet, and it's like they're already making a decision for mid-June. So like, what the fuck, you know? And then also, it seems like the other universities here in Oregon, like University of Oregon, the Beaver one, it seems like they gave the students an option. Like they emailed them and they were like, well, what should we do? And they asked them like, should we postpone this to fall? Should we do a virtual ceremony? What are your suggestions? And our school didn't do that. Our school just was like, virtual ceremony. Obviously, no one is asking for the school to do the ceremony in June. Like I think everyone of class 2020 is like, we're aware of that it can't be done at that time, and we are willing to wait. And what we're just asking is that we want an actual ceremony in person. And I don't know why wouldn't they just say, well, we're gonna do it in the fall, because I feel like that's a pretty safe bet. I mean, actually, maybe not. This is not a safe bet. But even, some people are saying like we wouldn't even care if we had to do it with a class of 2021. Like we would wait that long. And actually, I think I would be willing to wait that long too. But I can't. I don't see myself. If they actually do that, I don't see myself participating in that. I am not gonna participate in that. Um, Honestly, like maybe I'd rather fucking double major so I can graduate next year. But I don't know. Actually, I'm actually thinking about that. I don't give a fuck if that adds like 5,000 more, 10,000 more to my fucking loans. Bernie Sanders, please delete. No, just kidding. I know my eyelash is a little wonky. So, like I said, I initially was taking it as a joke, and I was like, well, the school is gonna actually listen to the students, and they're gonna see that everyone's mad, and they're gonna do something. Like they're gonna try to fix it or try to listen to us. But they didn't do that. They actually the next day, they didn't even wait at least a few days. The next day they were like, we see your concerns, but the reason we can't hold an actual ceremony is because we don't know when the kind of like coronavirus is going to be cleared out. So we can't hold a venue for like an unlimited time. And then I fucking call fucking bullshit on that, because they were gonna hold the ceremony on one of their buildings, a building that they just finished building, like I think last year. And actually there was controversy with that building they build, because they have been raising tuition, I guess, the past few years, and they've just been saying that they don't have enough money, which is the reason they've been like raising tuition. But then again, somehow the school did have money to build this, like, I almost want to call it gym, but it's not a gym because um, it's a pavilion. Like apparently they hold concerts there too. It's the school's building, and but I think mainly they did it for the basketball team. That's why I call it gym. But that's where they were gonna hold a graduation ceremony. It's like it's within our campus, so it's like, why are you guys saying now we can't hold a venue? And then and then when they said that, people in the comments were like, well, even then, we have a football field, like we can do it there. Like there's options. Also, if by then the coronavirus is still not like completely, like it's not completely like out of the picture, we can still separate the schools. School has like the school of business, and then it's like there's like school of arts. So it's kind of like divided in groups. So they were saying like, you could do that. So just so it's not like the whole, I don't know how many students gonna graduate, but That's what they were saying. Like, there's options, you know, and just the school just did that immediate decision. And also, what I was seeing a lot was going with the controversy with them building that pavilion. Apparently, the last president, I'm not really informed, but there's something that he had an 800,000 salary or bonus. I don't know, something like that, and he got that in the time where they were saying the school didn't have money. So it's kind of like, hmm. And I remember like last summer there was like a, I'm not call it protest, but there was like a, I don't know, I think like a protest, and then there was like a lot of flyers around the school, like just calling out the president and being like, he, that's how I know, like he got a 800,000 check or salary, something like that. So then we got a new president because I think he then resigned. So there was a controversy about that. So my school kind of has like a thing about, I guess, like, I don't know, something going on with the money. So then people were saying that, you know, they made that decision fast because they saw it as an opportunity for them to kind of like not spend that money on doing the ceremony, which I kind of agree. Which, you know, when I saw that email, it kind of made me think of that because it's just like, it's so immediate. Like, you guys couldn't even wait until fucking mid-May, at least fucking May, you know. The reason why I'm just so upset about this because I've been dreaming of the fucking day I graduate. I started college 8 fucking years ago. I am the first person that's gonna graduate college in my household. So this has been a very special day that I have been anticipating for. And I am so fucking proud that I'm fucking almost done. And I give myself fucking pats on the back because no one else does. So I have to do that. And I've fucking pushed myself to where I am now. And it's been a fucking difficult ride with like finishing school. Also, I feel like the statistics are not very favorable with minorities finishing school, especially Latina, especially disabled, especially when you are in a household that, this is not faulting my parents, but I'm just explaining that my parents are not very like supportive. Like, I mean, like they, you know, they're supportive in the terms like, yeah, you know, good, you go to school, but not in the sense of like, you know, pushing me. I feel like some people, some parents kind of have those type of parents that's like, you know, like at least ask, you know, what do you do at school? Or they're like, yeah, honey, you can do it. Or, you know, show interest. But I don't have that type of parents. So it's been very hard to maintain motivation, especially also me, considering that I struggle with depression and I struggle with anxiety. When I started college, my social anxiety was through the fucking roof, and I still push myself. Also considering that, again, being a Latina, being a minority, you know how that goes when you're in school. Nobody really like have expectations of you to go to college, which that was my situation when I was in here in Tualatin High School. Like, no one ever talked to me about college, even though that was one of the appointments, one of the talks that you were supposed to have with your counselor. I didn't have that. I was about to have that. So I didn't have that until, you know, college kind of became a thing that I started to think about when in my senior year, we moved to Salem. So then I went to Salem High School, North Salem High School. And there they had a kind of like a package that they filled out like every morning for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that was like solely dedicated to college stuff, like college like it was like applications, it was like the FAFSA application, it was like doing the essays, it was all of that, and I'm like, oh wow, like, and that's when I discovered that FAFSA even existed. I didn't start college right away. Also, I told myself I was gonna give myself a year of like a break, but I actually took two, and then I started college. Also, I feel like I barely kind of graduated high school again for the lack of motivation and just lack of like support, like push, in my household. Actually, through my senior year, I missed a lot of school through my senior year, and I remember my counselor calling me and being like, just being so mad at me. And that was, I think, the first time we met. And she was like, you have to come to school. If you don't, then your parents are going to have to go to court and blah, blah, blah. And she just seemed so mad. I'm like, okay. So then I started kind of trying to make the effort of going to school. But then I kind of stopped going again. But then nobody said anything. And that's what I mean. I'm aware that some people are going to be like, well, it's up to you, blah, blah, blah. But also, you're a teenager, like teenagers don't want to go to school. So then it's kind of like up to the environment, parents, family members, or counselors, teachers to be there. But again, there was, usually you don't really see that with minorities because there's not an expectation for them to excel or for them to go to college. And I remember during that time, I would tell my mom, like, I don't want to go to school. And she'd be like, well, don't go. Legit. Like, that's the type that I mean. Like, also, like, throughout college, it was the same. Like, I just don't want to go. So, well, don't go. And then obviously, me in my mind at this point, I'm in college, like, that's not an option. Like, I'm saying I don't want to go in some way, kind of like expecting you can do it, honey. I don't know. Something. But then it's kind of like you don't get that. So then it's like you eventually stop making those comments, and then you just have to have those conversations with yourself and be like, you don't want to go to school. But this is what has to be done. I signed up for this. I have to finish. I have to do it. And then also when I started, my counselor, my advisor at the PCC community college place, they were like, that I should only take 2 classes at a time because it would be too hard for me. Again, I'm aware a little bit of that, with reason, because math is hard for me. So the first like 2-3 years that I went to college, I only went part-time, and also because I was in my mind like, if I take 3, it's gonna be too much for me. But then I eventually started kind of like gaining confidence in myself about school, and again, these are all conversations that I have to have with myself. And then I started like taking 3 classes, and then there was one time that I took 4 classes, and I was so proud because that time I got straight A's. So again, you have to, like, if you don't have anyone, you lack motivation, you lack discipline, like confidence in yourself. Man, you have to like somehow, I don't know, out of fucking thin air, out of like do some fucking magic tricks, like you have to pull yourself up, and that's what I fucking did, and I'm here. Obviously, I struggled a lot throughout the first years. I honestly, when I started college, I didn't think graduating was even gonna be a thing that I would actually be able to do, especially after they told me like, okay, before you kind of like officially start college, I had to take like prerequisites, and that was like what I took for the first like year and a half. So I started in 2012. I stopped going in 2013, and then I didn't go to school for 2 years. So then I went again in the summer of 2015. That's when I was able to take a little bit more like the fun classes, the psychology classes like I wanted to. And then in 2018, I was able to transfer to PSU, Portland State University. And that's when I started actually going full time now. I started taking my psychology classes, and then I decided to add a minor in sociology. And then last summer, I decided to add a minor in business administration, which is the reason why it's taking me a little bit longer, a couple terms longer, because otherwise, I think if I would have just taken the major in psychology, I would have been done already. I like sociology, and then also because I'm not really sure what I want to do with my life. That's why I added the business administration, just in case, as a safety net. Whatever happens, happens. No, just kidding. But yeah, so like I mentioned, I'm a person that I fucking struggle with depression, and there's been a few times where, whoa, like, whoa, especially last fall, like at the end of last fall, I I actually flunked my sociology final exam, but I was still able to pass that class because I had good grades, and the reason was because I went through a fucking horrible breakup, and I just couldn't even, I don't know, like, honestly, I don't know what, I think back and I'm like, I don't know how I was able to like end the term in those like last 3 weeks. I mean, like, I still fucking flunked that exam, but I was able to pass thanks that I was doing okay previously. And also this term, the winter term, the last term, again, struggling with that relationship. And it's just like, again, I don't know how, again, I was able to pass my classes. Again, I'm already a person that struggles with depression, so I don't need none of that extra shit. But nonetheless, it was fucking there, and nonetheless, I had to deal with it, and here I am in my last full term. That's why I give myself fucking pats on the back, because I'm like, wow, bitch, you fucking did it almost all on your fucking own. And also throughout my years, when I was at PCC, I also had my surgery, my double fusion, my ankle fusions. So I had to finish one term a little bit early because I had to have that surgery. And then that's why I didn't go. Well, I was trying to go, but I couldn't walk. So then I had to go in spring, and I remember it was so painful to walk, but a bitch did it. A bitch still went to class, and I remember barely being able to walk and still going. And then also like times that I fell and like I couldn't even walk and I had to crawl to the bathroom to shower and get ready and leave to school, and I would just feel like my foot like pulsing and just like the fucking pain. But it's like I have to go to school. I could pretty much say I like, up until like this last relationship, I never missed school for anything. This past, because of my last relationship, I was missing school so I could be with this person. Also, again, going with my depression, I think last term, I also started like, being sometimes like, wow, I don't want to go. So I took like a couple days throughout the term, different days where I was like, gonna take the day off, which I think it's okay. But I'm just saying, like, that's the person that I've tried to be, and it's been hard, but I did it, and I give myself pats on the back for that. I'm proud of myself. It's not something that I'm gonna be like, I'm fucking proud of myself, and like, I'm gonna fucking say it. There's gonna be no humbling thing, humbling. I don't know how you say that. But yeah, and then just like to be, again, what kept me through all of that was also like me graduating, me going to get my diploma, and being like, I fucking did it. And now to just like know that that's most likely not gonna happen. Um, Very disheartening. Today, though, I got an email from the student government. So it seems like they say that they support the class of 2020 and having the graduation ceremony postponed, having like a personal one. But the school since then said, oh, you know, this is the reason why we can't hold a in-person ceremony. Since then they haven't said anything else. That's why I've been losing hope that they're gonna actually do anything. I think they're just set that they're gonna do that, and that's how it's gonna be. um so, but nonetheless, this was my rant. I don't think it was that bad. Yeah. Fuck la pinche coronavirus. Fuck you, bitch.